Are women living in fear or are they programmed to? In episode number 206 of Making the Case, we're asking, do women live in constant fear? Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Making the Case. We on episode 206. I'm your host, Dr. Jacob Isom. We got two channel norms over here. One, we attack points and not people. And then two, we don't do all that cussing and fussing and derogatory stuff. We like to keep it professional, all right? Now, not yesterday, but our last video, right? We did a video on if men are pretty much hardwired to be problem solvers, right? So in this video, we kind of taking a different approach when it comes to women. And I'm asking, are women not necessarily hardwired to live fear-based lives, but um, are they more likely to live a life that's based off of fear, right? And the reason why I'm asking is because I will tell you that I can be talking to, random women, or I can be talking to women that I've been around for quite some time, or just whatever the case, right? And a lot of times it is, well, I don't want to do this because I'm afraid of that, or even, and I want to let you know we're not talking about just physical fear, right? I think more so women live in more emotional and mental fear than physical, to be honest with you, because fear will keep a lot of women from going after their job, going to school. Fear would keep a lot of women from doing a lot of different things, right? And I think that's more so in a woman's nature than it is a man nature, because men, we're used to taking risks, right? We're used to putting everything on the line. Why do you think most poker players are men? Right? Some of your most risky and dangerous jobs are going to be men that's doing it because we don't mind putting everything on the line. Right? Hey, the bigger the risk, the bigger reward. That's how it goes, right? So, but on the other hand, women like to play it safe. They like to do things that, are that's why a lot of women work office jobs, right? They like to be in the air conditioning. Most women don't want to sweat out their edges. I mean, let's just be real, right? So, um, and of course, it's the other aspect of living in fear is they don't want to be alone going certain places. They don't want to be alone at night. They don't want to be in certain cities that may be dangerous, right? So there's that fear factor. But I think a lot of times the other fear factor we don't talk about is the fear of rejection, or the fear of them not living up to something, the fear of them dying alone, right? Those are other fears that I don't think we talk enough about, of women being kind of, they moving based off of that fear. All right. So in this episode, that's kind of what we're gonna be addressing. And we just gonna have a conversation as we like to do. Okay. All right. You got your popcorn? All right, let's go. Let's get into our first clip.
That would quote, men are afraid that women will laugh at them and women are afraid that men will kill them. We have these men wearing dresses who we might have a reaction to that they don't like based on our opinion of them. Meanwhile, we are just wanting female-only spaces because of the very real threat to our safety that we navigate in society with. That great Margaret Atwood quote, men are
And of
afraid that.
course, this clip is, of course, addressing the physical fear, right? Which, I mean, nobody will take away from women the fact that, yes, they are the weaker sex in terms of physical fitness, right? So I don't think anybody would take that away from women. But I do think that, well, we know based off the numbers that United States of America is one of the safest countries in the world. But yet, with that being said, there's still a threat of physical violence and danger because, of course, most women are just going to be susceptible to that. No different than kids and the elderly, right? So it is a natural fear, and to be honest with you, it's something that I haven't experienced. Even though, yes, are there men that um think about danger and violence? Yes, but I don't think we think about it from a standpoint, well, somebody is going to do this to me and I'm going to be defensive because I'm not going to know what to do. right? Men, we tend to have a different look at violence because it's like, hey, if need be, I got to meet violence with violence. All right, and women don't think about it in that regard. So I think we get it, and that's why I'm making a case of the fact that, well, yes, women live fear based lives because they have to think about that, but men don't have to think about it like that. All right, let's get into our next clip.
You feel men really don't understand about women?
How much fear women are in all the time. Women live on this earth almost like prey animals as opposed to predatory animals, where there's a constant vigilance and a constant sensation of unsafety in women. So the relationships that I notice that are the very most successful, it's like that what the man is essentially doing as a second nature is constantly reassuring. If men don't understand what a woman is going through, feeling so unsafe in the world all the time, it makes no sense for him why she's freaking out in the car, why she's freaking out walking from point A to point B, why she's, it just looks like, what's your deal? Obvious, because he's already looked at the scenario and been like, I think this is safe, so it should be safe for you. Well, but it's not. So, if you really want a woman to be in her feminine energy and feel good in that relationship, the level of reassurance for safety that you have to provide her is so high. That's what men don't understand about women.
What's one thing that you feel men really don't?
Kind of based off the last clip, as I was kind of stating, right? I think most men, if not all men, understand that yes, men and women are different, right? And this is the reason why I'm doing this actual video, right? Showing you that women do live fear-based lives, right? But without have to without negating the fact that women live fear-based lives, that yes, you think about it from a different aspect than we do, but that's the reason why we're a protective provider, right? That's the reason why, yes, you do need to be in the company of men. So this whole notion that you don't need men is ridiculous, right? Does this not show that, right? So if most women are in this fear, it doesn't make sense. If most women are in this zone and state that they're such in fear, then of men in particular, right? Then wouldn't you want a man to be around to protect you against other men? Makes sense to me. And I'm not trying to, undercut what women are going through, but the whole notion that they constantly, oh, protect me, or don't do this. Most women are not in constant fear, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be out by themselves. They wouldn't be out at dark. They wouldn't go to nightclubs. They wouldn't do certain things, right? So it's kind of illusionary in some aspect, but I get the sentiment of what she was saying, but we also can't go overboard with it, right? All right, let's get into the next clip.
Now, what are those tears coming from? I think I know, but do you mind sharing if it's not too?
I can share. My family is my most important thing in my life.
Yes.
But it's the thing I give the least to, because I came from a single mom who did everything to put a roof over our head, food on the table, and she almost lost it. And I would listen to her cry at night because we might not have a house. And that developed in me a drive to never be in that place.
I understand.
And so I work to give my family a good life. And I've done that. I'm in a place where I never dreamed of when I was a child.
Yes.
But I can't get out of that pattern to switch gears and give less focus to work and more focus to me and my family.
Yes, and you really can't give it to your family at the level you want either, because there's not enough nurturing of you. So there's no time for you. You're last. Am I right? So we all know this intellectually. You need a system that guides you on a regular basis, that no one's telling you to do it, but you're pulled, not pushed to do it. Now, what are those tears coming?
Hey, hey, that's why I rock with Tony Roberts. Like, when I tell you, anyway, let me not get off of that. But I just love the work that he do. But this, and be honest with you, this is not just geared to women, right? Do we probably see it more so in women than we do men? Probably, right? Where there's this constant threat and fear factor, right? Well, I don't want to end up like my mother. I don't want to end up like my father. I don't want to end up like this person, right? So the fear factor drives you to success, right? It's one of your main motivators because let's be real, most people don't have a purpose. Most people understand in order to thrive and survive, they have to do this X, Y, and Z, right? But most people don't have a drive to do something because it's just the right thing to do. I should be doing this because I've been called to do this, right? Most people don't have that. Now, me, I'm fortunate enough to be doing my purpose right now as we speak, right? So that fear factor, it drives a lot of women. And now we on to the other part, right? We touched on the physical part. Now, this is the emotional and mental part that a lot of women go through, right? I don't want to be a single mom like my mother, like my auntie that I saw. So I'm going to work, I'm going to grind to make sure that my kids have everything. Okay. Now, some would look at it and be like, hey, whatever needed to drive a person, hey, in as long there's many different ways to get to the finish line, right? I get that, right? But what happened when you're no longer afraid, though? What happened when your kids no longer need you? What is going to drive and motivate you then? Right? So that's the question. All right. I got one more video clip I'm going to show you, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right.
Live in a state of fear that you and I, as men, do not experience. The state of fear that they have is so built into them, it's so baked into them, I would say that it's even genetic. It's primal. It's a primary experience that they have. Why do they have this? Well, since the beginning of time, maintaining the health and safety of women has been the mission of our culture. We preserve the lives of women. That's why men are disposable. That's why we're sacrificial, because the only way our tribe, our country, our culture, our race continues is if there's at least a handful of women to repopulate the place after we men have all killed ourselves in some great battle. Women live
but that's such, and I'm glad this was the last video I'm showing y'all because it's such a great point and it's so true, right? Like, hey, that's why men can go out there in the coal mines, men can go out there on the oil rigs, they can get into battles and wars and stuff like that, kill each other off. Hey, lead the women. Hey, protect the women, right? That's why during war, there was always a certain amount of men that had to stay back to make sure who was protected, make sure the women and kids were protected, right? So, yes, men are exposable. Now, that's a hard truth and a hard pill for men to swallow, but it's just the truth. No different than the truth is women live fear-based lives because they know they have to be protected. And the thing about it is they've been protected for millennia. Right now, that's why it's so unfortunate in our modern times we hear so many women saying they don't need men. But what do you mean? This whole infrastructure was created in order to protect you, right? If men didn't put this infrastructure in place, you wouldn't know what to do, right? And it goes back to the whole idea of being in fear. If men didn't create all these company and jobs, all these new technologies and inventions, you'll really be afraid then. Right? So, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, it is primal, it is instinctual, it's biological based, which is the reason why I say men were built to problem solve, like I said on the last video, and women live fear-based lives. All right. I think I made my case. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna wrap it up on there. Hey, let me know what you think. Do you believe women live fear-based lives, man? Hey, in the comments, go on to put something, all right? Like the video, share it, you know, if you like it. If you like it, love it. All right. Hey, but as always, I appreciate you. I am you. You are me. Love always, love return. Remember, worst thing you can do is lie to yourself, and we out. Deuces. One love.